I do think that it is funny because I find it I found it awkward just moving to the UK. The language of business here is not the language of business in the US. I had the worst board meeting of my life. It was the first board meeting I ever had here. I mean, it sounds like a joke, right? I mean, you know how they say we had a Glaswegian. We were in Manchester. The CFO was from Glasgow, and the head of marketing was from Newcastle, and I had been in the UK for a month. I could not understand the CEO from Manchester. I certainly couldn't understand the head of marketing from Newcastle, and I am confident that the guy from Glasgow was not sharing a common language. This was made considerably worse when somebody did start to sort of do live translation. And the head of marketing said something to the effect that they wanted to table a conversation about the recent marketing campaign, which had been a big event. In the US, when you table something, it means you postpone it. In the UK, when you table something, it means you want to talk about it. It got worse. I was chairing the meeting. And I said, well, fine, then let's not talk about it now. He goes, no, I want to talk about it because it went a bomb. In his particular colloquialism, it means it went well. It didn't to me. And so I was furiously trying to put off a discussion of a disaster while he was furiously trying to promote a success they'd just had. And he was doing it in Newcastle, which is called Geordie. And he's doing it to Mancunian as interpreted by a Glaswegian. That's not what you were referring to, but I did find it really quite troublesome to find that even when we did share a common language, we didn't share a common set of languages, a set of words. Having said that, there's two types of business language that you're touching on. There's the business language that I don't notice, because I speak it and I'm inside it, and I'm a proponent of plain English. But even in being a proponent of plain English, I am confident my plain English is still business English. And I'm sure you could actually, if we were to have a long enough conversation, you could point out to me when I was lapsing into business English. There's another type of business language, and that's much more pernicious. And this is the language of evasion. And it is rife in business. It is the passive voice. It is a whole series of euphemisms that are intended to avoid ownership, responsibility, accountability, and outcome. It is endemic. It is pervasive. It sucks. And it is artful. And it is impenetrable. And you'd have no idea what I was talking about if I managed to lapse into it, and I can't lapse into it because I'm not a good practitioner of it. But that's another type of business language, and that's even removed from just what I would think of normal terms of art. And so I do believe that there's a dialect issue. But it's not interpretation even, it's translation. I'd say it's more extreme. I have no simple answer except that we could run a course, translation for academics into business English. Problem is, I don't speak academic. So I'd have to have somebody who spoke both. But maybe you can step up. Do you speak kind of like both? You try. Yeah, I have had some fascinating conversations with business people in this country where I'll ask them what I consider to be a perfectly direct question. And they will give me a perfectly evasive answer. And out of which we will not know who was responsible, what happened, how much happened, where it happened, when it happened, and why it didn't work. But they will have a full sentence in answering the question. Managing to avoid all accountability across all parties. It's an art. The politicians do it as well, but they don't do it as well. Full stop.